Did we just experience a Danny Wolf legacy game for the ages? That and so much more coming up on today's show as we break down the Bucks game and also preview ahead to the Charlotte Hornets. Hello, everybody, and welcome back inside the Brooklyn Boys show. I am your host, Josh Woolever, getting set to take you through everything you need to know against Brooklyn and Charlotte tonight at the Barclays Center as we preview everything you need to know. Man, Danny Wolf, how about it, baby? He goes off in Milwaukee in a game that I looked at and I said, okay, it's going to be a Giannis show. And to be honest, it was. Because he drops 29 and the Nets could not guard him to save their lives. However, on the other side of the ball, you see a lot of promise from these young rookies. You get to see a little bit about what it would be like going forward to have these guys playing well. Down the line, you saw Drake Powell contribute some fine minutes. You did not see Igor Gilman as he was continuing to rehab and continuing to sit out a couple more games because of the plantar fascia issues. They just want to regulate that, make sure it's not a long-term issue down the stretch in the future, with that, which I'm perfectly fine with. But you saw Ben Surratt, you saw Drake Powell, and you saw Danny Wolf. Before we get any further, though, we owe a big thank you to this community who helped us reach that 500 subscriber milestone a couple days ago. So more announcements about what that means for the future of this channel coming up, but just know couldn't have been possible without all of your help. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Means a ton. You guys are the best, as always. Continue to hit smash. Continue to like, continue to subscribe. Now the next goal is 1,000. 4 digits. When's it coming up? Not sure. Sometime in the future, but more you guys hit subscribe, the faster it happens. But hitting like does just as much, spreads it out to all the other Nets fans on this great YouTube community as we continue to grow the channel. The rookies, the big bottom line of Sunday night's game. It was a brutal ending to the month of November. The Nets head into December 1st, 3 wins and 14 losses to their ledger. So not exactly pretty. All 3 wins coming on the road. And this basketball team is so inconsistent. You will see them blow out Washington and beat a bad team, and then you'll see them look like they did in the first half of that Milwaukee game, where they have no clue what they're doing. They're getting blown up by 40 points after 2 quarters. So there's really been no middle ground through 2 months with this team, less than 2 months. And we hit the road. We flipped the calendar to the season of giving, Merry Tank Month, as a lot of us on the show have been calling it. And you look up and down the schedule and you say, my goodness, your eyes light up if you're Jordy Fernandez. These are your opportunities to get back in the win column. You have Charlotte tonight, Chicago Wednesday, the Utah Jazz on Thursday. Those 3 right there, the Bulls got up to a hot start, but they slowed down a little bit. Those 3 right there are winnable games. And you're talking about winning those. Obviously, the draft lottery isn't for quite some time, but you're talking about way out of that 3 seed that you're barely clinging on to for my pro tankers, and you are talking about going in the wrong direction. So we will truly see where the culture is at in this Nets locker room. This team wants to win basketball games. I don't care if you're a fan sitting at home hoping for this team to get the best pick possible. Jordy Fernandez, the coaching staff, the players want to win basketball games. That's the bottom line. Now we see if they can execute. We get a very clear picture into the locker room. There's not many more winnable games than Charlotte and Utah twice in a week, and Chicago, your usual Chicago, sandwiched right in the middle there. I get it's a back-to-back against Utah. That might be tough. I get that You had multiple back-to-back last week. I mean, very, very tough schedule to end the month of November for the Nets. They go back-to-back one weekend. Next weekend, they go Friday, Saturday, which was a couple days ago, with Philly and then on the road in Milwaukee. And then you come right back home Monday. So that is 3 games in 4 days, a very, very tough schedule for the Nets. It's time to see what this team is made of. Whether you want to win or not, you want the games to be close. I don't think there's anybody that just wants them to look horrible. You don't see anything from the players. And you wonder if how the team can mess up all 5 first-round picks. Nobody wants that. In the organization, in the fan base, nobody's here for that. So they've been battle-tested, and they will be this entire week. How do they respond? I'm really not sure. But we get a very, very good preview about what the remainder of the year looks like, how they want to attack the trade deadline. This week is extremely vital. Can the rookies deliver is what we're looking for. That's the highlight of it all. If you got to circle one thing, you're sitting down to watch tonight, go ahead, put a big circle, and keen in on the rookies. But at the same time, there will be a cultural expectation move in this locker room. Because there are very winnable games for you on the table. Do you eat? Do you win? That's the question here. For this Nets team, they could very well knock themselves out of pole position on the tank. They could very well win 3 games in a row and have some fans calling the rebuild's over early. Go ahead, go get Giannis next year and they're title contenders. And you could very well lose 3 of the easiest games on your schedule. You're talking about bottom of the barrel and the tankiest of them all. There's a lot of them in the NBA this year. Smash that like button, hit subscribe as we continue to celebrate. And thank you all for the 500 subscriber mark. Oh boy, does it feel good to get that milestone out of the way. One of the first big milestones this channel has hit, hoping for many, many more sometime in the near future. Whether this Nets team is great, whether they're terrible, love bringing you this Nets coverage, and you guys make it happen. So know that. Thank you all so much. Let's continue to talk all things Brooklyn Nets, but we want to get you in on the conversation. So once you've hit like, once you've hit subscribe, head over to that comment section, get questions, comments, thoughts, reactions, anything to do with the Nets. We'll talk about this game in a few short minutes. But let's go back to Milwaukee for a second. One of the big things, we mentioned how big this week is. One of the big things about this week is going to be how the defense plays. Because if you go rewatch that first half up in Milwaukee, it looked like a middle school team trying to defend Giannis Antetokounmpo. They had no clue what they were doing. They did not have a plan of attack. I get you're coming off a back-to-back. Yegor's out. Michael Porter Jr. was out. I don't care. Said this before and I'll say it again. Defense is not optional on this team. I don't care how bad you are. Noah Clowney, Nick Claxton, and Drake Powell and the entire coaching staff, colossal failure trying to execute in the paint defensively at both ends of the floor, but defensively. Colossal failure. You give up 73 first half points. So the Bucks are on pace for 146. They need a terrible fourth quarter where all their scrubs are in, where Thanasis Antetokounmpo is posterizing Jalen Wilson. And by the way, first of all, athletic play by Thanasis. Second of all, if you need to play to sum up the Nets season this far, the poster of Thanasis on Jalen Wilson is just... it's got all the elements. It has a blowout score, a game that was over after, the game that was over midway through the second quarter. So you got reserves from both teams in. Thanasis, of all people, who people literally make low-light reels to post on social media. That's the guy that stuffs a Christmas present into Jalen Wilson's stocking early. Oh my goodness. That sums up the season right there. But anyways, I digress. The defense being that bad as it was in Milwaukee, that's unacceptable. Any game. These 3 games, Merry Tankmas, everybody. The Charlotte Hornets. You get the Jazz later this week. That level of defense, if that comes back again, that's a problem on the coaching staff. Because no longer is it, oh, Giannis was a superstar. Who can stop him? Nobody can. Not the Nets' fault. Come on, guys. Come on. Play some defense. And if it's not now, I don't know when it is. Charlotte, Chicago, Utah, the Pelicans. That's an abomination right there. The Mavericks, who still haven't been good. The Bucks, who you just got blown out by. Then you go on a little bit of a tough stretch. End of December, scary. Heat, Raptors, Sixers, Timberwolves, Warriors. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose all 5 of those. But from now until December 14th, you got 2 weeks of every single one of these basketball games should be close. And they won't be. I recognize they won't be, but you got to take it on a night-by-night basis. Recognize that this team needs to go into each game and keep it close every single time. But that's not what they can do. And whether you want to win or not, again, you don't just want to see them get blown out for no reason. However, there is good news. Because there is not Giannis Antetokounmpo on the Charlotte Hornets. In fact, nobody even close to him. Between the LaMelo Ball trade buzz, we're not sure where that goes. He denies it. Seems like he doesn't want to be there. The team hasn't been good his entire tenure. In fact, they've been the laughingstock of the league since the day he was drafted. Even before that. They are not good, but they have the pieces. Charlotte is building in the right direction. They're a young, ascending team, and there's a lot of ways they can attack you offensively. They can get it down low to Kalkbrenner like we saw last time. In Nets Hornets, they just fed the 7-1er the ball down low. Nobody could guard him. Easy deuce and right back on defense. There was like 5 possessions in a row. Just went downstairs to Kalkbrenner, easy 2. And we're in and we're out. And we got points to take with us. So they can do that. They get some strong rebounders there. Kalkbrenner, Musa Diabate. But then, once you start to collapse, you start to play some good interior defense. That's when they spray it out. Give it to LaMelo Ball. Give it to Miles Bridges on this team. No Pat Connaughton tonight. But give it to the shooters. Let them feast on the wings. And that's why Bridges has 22 a night. That's why Ball has 19 a night. They're pretty good offense. And they sure as heck know how to attack you in multiple ways. But regardless, these aren't teams with a ton of experience either side. This shouldn't be a game where you got blown out as bad as you did. The Nets gave up, 138 to this Charlotte team last time they played back in the beginning of the season? That cannot happen. Let me just get out there. Cannot happen. So, whether it's locking up Kalkbrenner and eliminating that, forcing Charlotte to shoot from the outside, whether it's Michael Porter Jr. coming back from some back issues the past 2 games, reinserting him into the lineup, and he looks like the cornerstone of this franchise that he has been the first 2 months, and he gives you 30, maybe 25. We'll see what his minutes look like. We'll see where the ball handling duties are assigned with him coming back from a minor injury, with Yegor coming back from plantar fascia. I wouldn't even call it discomfort. I just think they're trying to limit it, not put too much stress on it early into his NBA career. So load management, I guess, is what you would call it, but for 1 game. I honestly, 6 wins is not what the record of this Charlotte team should be. They are a better basketball team than they have. And the Nets got gassed against the 76ers. 76ers, man, this year have cream the Nets, and then they go up to the Cream City, and Milwaukee does them one better. So this Nets team is coming off 2 brutal losses. You have to keep this game close after back-to-back blowouts over the weekend. I don't think Brooklyn wins tonight. I hope it's close. I hope they're able to defend. I don't need this team to score 125 points. I don't need them to. Play some defense, man. Play some defense. I don't want to see another situation where it's what Giannis did on the Bucks, and he just dominates all over. Nets can't guard the paint. That can't happen with Kalkbrenner and Diabate. Clear the boards. Own the glass. Do we know one game where the Nets have just dominated the glass this year? I can't think of one. Let's go. Claxton and Sharp. Let's go. They need a wake-up call in that locker room. Play some defense tonight. Keep it close, please. Doesn't need to be an explosive night offensively. I don't think the Nets play to their advantages. And that means they're getting to be a team who they aren't, and that's the way they're shooting the ball. Smash the like button, hit subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Feed questions, comments, thoughts into the chat. We will get to those in a minute. Couple more notes on this game. And then we get into everything you guys have to say. It's the 500 subscriber special, baby. Hit like, hit subscribe. Continue to support and grow this channel. Whether it is through already have been subscribed since day one and helping us go from there. Whether it's your post 500, it's your first time here, then welcome. Let's continue to grow this thing up to 1,000. Whether you just hit the like button, and that just helps more Nets fans find us. It all helps a ton. Like and subscribe as we continue to move along. Monday, December 1st, baby. That's what we mean. It is Merry Tank Month, everybody. No more, well, I guess there is a Wednesday, Thursday back-to-back, but no more back-to-backs every weekend. No more getting lost and losing blowout games. It's time for this team to turn it up. And by turn it up, I mean stay within 10 points of some bad opponents. Hit like and hit subscribe if you haven't done so yet. I think Michael Porter Jr. plays a humongous role in tonight's game. I think the Nets are eager to get him back in that spot. You saw what they can and can't do with and without him. And I'm not saying his absence is the sole reason this team gets blown out twice over the weekend. But I think it certainly does play a role because offense and defense can correlate. This team scores 103 on Friday and then 99 on Saturday. So there's clearly no offense. And then they lose, 12 on Friday and then 17 on Saturday. But it should have been much more on Saturday. It should have been much more. So you get a stronger offensive hand back in the game. And hopefully, you have to hope that correlates to offense or to defense, to both sides of the ball. But I also think Michael Porter Jr. has elevated his two-way play this season. Smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Get questions, comments, thoughts in the chat. We'll head over there. Jason Spitzberg, baby. Early bird trophy today. He says, what's up, Josh? Danny Wolf better get lots of playing time tonight. Again, circle the rookies. That's who we're keying in on tonight. So Wolf certainly earned himself some play. I wonder if he gets the starting nod. Let me say, they should have. Excuse me, I got lost there, but I believe I am back. Let me know if you could hear me If you're listening in the chat, sorry about that. But as for the starting five, I'm not sure if Wolf got the nod. I'll check. But if not, he has to be first off the bench because you can't possibly find a situation where this guy's immediately back down to the G League. Eric Slater on the Nets beat, great reporter for Clutch Points, asked Jordy Fernandez what the situation with Saraf and Wolf is like. You prioritize development at the end of the day. You do. So if that's on Long Island, so be it. I'll put my trust into this coaching staff. But here was Jordy's answer to the question, will Wolf and Saraf stay in Brooklyn or get sent back down to the G League? He said, they're going to play tonight, but nothing is guaranteed. And it's not just them, it's everybody else too. I thought they did a nice job competing and playing extremely hard in Milwaukee. Ultimately, that's what I want from everybody. There's going to be opportunities throughout 82 games, not just for them, for everybody else. I thought they did well, and that's why they're going to play tonight. So there is the official word from the man himself about what to do. And the breaking news of the day is that Keon Johnson got claimed off waivers by the Boston Celtics. So there you go. Next time Nets are playing the Celtics, and if it's a blowout, we might see some Keon Johnson action. But you got to prioritize development. So that's what it is at the end of the day. He's up for tonight. I really want him to play. This is one of those situations where a young guy's coming off a good game. It only hurts to keep him on the bench tonight. Get him out there. Get him back there. That's what helps a young guy grow. Let's go. Feed off that last performance. Wolf played well. So put him back out there. Jonathan comes back. He says, do you think we will win tonight? We actually have another Jonathan. This is not the OG Jonathan. But this is Goodenez Jonathan. Do you think we'll win tonight? I don't. It's just a tough matchup to me. I don't think Charlotte is this powerhouse. I just think they have too many ways to attack, and Brooklyn can't defend in the first place. Like, how does this team deal with Cockbrenner down low, Ball and Bridges on the outside, and then figure out a way to crash the glass? It doesn't make sense to me. I think there's a lot of room for error in Charlotte. By no means are they a flawless offense. So Nets can take advantage of some missed opportunities. But on paper, Charlotte should win this game. We saw it in the first matchup, albeit that's an inexperienced Nets team. Back on opening night, they didn't really have any chemistry together, an entirely new unit all around. You had Cam Thomas, but other than that, and Nick Claxton, but other than that, you were seeing a lot of new faces and a lot of new roles. So I can't exactly feed off that. But if Charlotte's able to execute their game plan, they should be able to hold off the Nets. And I just think they have a better game plan. Jason comes in, final rec prediction, 9-73. That's not too far off right now. They're not on pace for that, I don't believe. They would probably need to lose in excess, or not win, rather. An excess game or two here or there. But I looked at Tankathon. The Nets sit at third right now. And you know how it is, 14% odds at the first pick if you're inside that top three. So you stay in that bottom three, and you got just as good of odds, at that number one overall pick. Fine by me. So I just want this team to win games on a night-to-night basis. I don't root for them to lose because I just know the losses will come along anyways. But sometimes wins are just fun, and that's what sports is all about at the end of the day. I know you might attack me, but it's the NBA draft lottery too, right? Like, what faith are we going to put that Oklahoma City doesn't just sliver their way right up into the top two picks again? Because, oh boy, what there would be people calling for Adam Silver's head if that happened. Jonathan coming in. Merry Tank, Miss Josh. We're finally here. We got Hornets, Bulls, Pelicans, and Utah, baby. That's what I like to call winnable basketball. And if nothing else, you better, gosh darn, keep it close. Merry Tank, Miss Jonathan, to one of our most loyal viewers. Appreciate all the support you have shown now and always. It's the most wonderful time of the year. I believe that is what they say. What are your thoughts on Noah Clowney's first month? Do you see him as improved offensive forward, potential two-way? His defense leaves a lot to be desired. Yeah, I just think that's a small frame defensively. Like, they'll try to insert him and play a role that he shouldn't. Can Noah Clowney anchor an NBA paint? Absolutely not. It's going to get ugly fast. He's kind of lost in that middle where he's certainly not a wing defender. He's not, a center to anchor down the paint. He's a forward, but he's not your conventional forward. So you're right. They still do have to find that spot for him to fit in. But offensively, he's been a top scorer on this team. Like, that's what I look at. Take Cam Thomas out of the equation. He's only been healthy for 8 games. Noah Clowney is the only guy not named Terrence Mann to start 19 of 19 games played this year. Porter started every game, but he's been hurt a couple times. They have to have trust in him. I don't see another way. I think the scoring's been elevated, yes. There has to be a reason. The guy starts every night, no questions asked. I think this team sees him as a serious fit moving forward. I just don't know what defensively, I don't think it's a question of what he brings to the table. I think the skill set's there. It's more of how do you use it? How does it all work out? That we really haven't seen yet. We really need to figure that out for Noah Clowney. One more here from Jonathan with Boozer and Wilson in the draft. Unless Clowney has a great next few months, his position as a starter isn't fully secure, and he has a contract extension next year. Yeah, that was that. Oh, sorry, I was thinking of Day'Ron Sharp on the 2-year extension. But yes, Clowney is a very replaceable player. They start him every game, but you get a top pick, please, by all means, take Noah Clowney out of the starting lineup. Take Terrence Mann out of the starting lineup. I have no problem with that. But if I'm being honest with you, Jonathan, I'm hoping it's not Cam Boozer. It's not Caleb Wilson. I hope it's AJ DeBanst. I hope it's Darren Peterson. Smash the like button, hit subscribe. Continue to get your final questions, comments, thoughts. Will stay on for another 10 or so minutes. Jonathan, when we first played the Hornets, we were terrible. We definitely gotten better since then, but we still suck. Maybe we lose tonight, but it won't be as bad as the first game. Exactly. I can't base my opinions off the first game. Zero team chemistry. Nothing was down. I just think the Hornets offense is too good for this Nets defense to contend with, but this certainly should not be as bad of a loss as it was first time around against Charlotte. So far with December 15 around the corner, how would you realistically rate? When December 15th right around the corner. Why December 15th? Oh. Yeah. When the all the trade rumors begin to open there in midseason. How would you realistically rate Claxton, MPJ, Thomas, and Mann's trade values? Could Warriors or Celtics be interested in Claxton? I've said this before. I think they're going to want to wait until the offseason for Nick Claxton to officially figure that out. I think Claxton has added a big piece to this offense. He's been the rebounder this year. It hasn't been Day'Ron Sharp like it was last year. Claxton's been a scorer. I think he's got some value, but I just think this team would rather wait until the offseason. I wouldn't be opposed to it if you get the right package in such a loaded draft coming up. in terms of MPJ, he's untradeable right now. To me, this is a guy scoring 30 points. That is franchise-changing material right there. You want the pick, but you also want proven talent. And if there's one guy, as of right now, I'd want to stick around through that rebuild with, and this wasn't the case heading into the season, Michael Porter Jr. has absolutely proved his worth to stay in Brooklyn. And so I think, kiss Cam Thomas's future goodbye if it wasn't already, 10 blocks long. Throw it off the third floor window if you haven't already. That's the way I view this. Game is about to begin, 10 minutes until tip-off. So we'll buzz through the final ones here. BC in the building, go Lakers is classic and the 65-win pace. That would be insane. Danny Wolf, positive vibes. Jordy needs to keep pushing them. Absolutely. And yes. Dayron, clearly have hit a ceiling. Most feel we need to go after an actual center, and Wolf could opportunity. Do you see him as a center? It's too early to call, man. I don't think one good game from Danny Wolf is me willing to commit to a franchise decision one way or the other. A franchise-altering decision, that is. Smash a like and hit subscribe if you haven't done so yet. We appreciate you tuning in on this pregame episode. Sorry for the little mid-show mishap. That was my bad. I accidentally closed out of the StreamYard, but we're back ASAP. Enjoy the Tank holidays, everybody. Pro Tank, pro win. Good opportunity to do both tonight against Charlotte. We will be back later this week. A ton of action to break down. That is all she wrote, baby. Make sure you follow the Instagram, _Brooklyn Boys. Make sure you follow my Twitter, Josh Wolliver. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the 500 subscriber mark. It means so much. More announcements in the coming days about what that means for us. I'm Josh Wolliver for the Brooklyn Boys Show, saying have a great night, everybody. Stay safe. Follow the Instagram to make sure you're in tune with halftime and postgame updates. And have a great night, everybody. Let's go Nets. Tip off in 8 short minutes, baby, from the Barclays Center. Peace out, everybody. See you later and good night. Let's go Nets.